Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're continuing our reading of Your Body's Many Cries for Water by Dr. B. I call him Dr. B because I don't know how to pronounce his name. Maybe I'll call him Dr. Batman. He's got Batman in there. It's pretty funny. Okay, so the subtitle is You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys are um, finding inspiration and information in this book helpful. We're gonna be reading chapter 8 today, and this will be part 1. Before we start, I'm just gonna do a little plug just to get that out of the way. So if you're enjoying what we're doing here at the book club, you can check out our other book clubs as well. On Mondays, we have the spiritual book clubs where we read spiritual books. And then Thursdays, we have the financial book clubs where we read financial books. So you could check that out. And we put all our book clubs that we've read, all the books that we've read in the past, as well as the present, on our YouTube channel. So you could check us out there. And also, we have a podcast that we put out. I try to do it regularly, but it depends on, who the universe sends my way to interview. But we have all that on our website under the podcast tab, as well as on our YouTube channel. So you can check us out there. And then once a month, we have a newsletter that we put out for free. So sign up for that so you can follow us to see what we're doing, what's new, what's not, etc., etc. And then if you have a book that you want us to recommend, for us to read, whether it's a spiritual book, a health book, or a financial book, I'll leave a link in the description box below, and you can recommend it, and we will consider it. We will read it at our discretion. We like classic books because they've been around for a long while, and they contain a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. So just a little criteria there. But we'll consider anything that you recommend that comes our way. And if you are local in the Los Angeles area, or if you're traveling to the LA area, come join us, visit us in our healing center. We use technologies based on Nikola Tesla's research on scalar waves for holistic healings for both animals, domestic animals, cats and dogs, as well as humans. So you could check out more information there on our website, as well as our other services as well. We'd love to meet you in person. There's nothing like building relationships, meeting people in person. There's just a different sort of energy that kind of goes with it, as opposed to, Zoom or electronic communication. So, if you find what we do helpful, you could support us. We appreciate it very, very much. You could buy me a coffee, or you could check out our merch. We have different designs, especially with the holidays coming up. We have holiday designs, and we're always revising, our designs and merch on our website. So check us out there. Come back often to check us out. And I think that's about it. So let's begin. So as I said, this is chapter 8, part 1. And I have to say, since we started reading this book, I have increased, or my goal is to increase my water intake every day. So there are some days where I miss the goal, but I try to, make an effort to drink water, which isn't my strong suit. I'm not really a water drinker. So anyways, okay, I think the camera is good. So if you have a book, you could follow with us there. If not, you can follow with us here on camera. And okay, let's begin. Here we go. Chapter 8, Excess Body Weight. Question: why are 30% of Americans overweight? Oh, just a side note, it's more than 30% now, I suppose, especially the younger generation. Kids, overweight kids, that's a big issue. Okay, sorry. Answer: because of a basic confusion. They do not know when they are thirsty. They also don't know the difference between fluids and water. Let us discuss the letters from Michael Peck and Michael Paturis, which we read in chapter 6, and Priscilla Preston and Donna Gutkowski that are included in this chapter. All stated they lost between 30 pounds and 45 pounds in weight when they switched to water as their preferred beverage. As you read on, you will see how simply we gain weight. The control system in the brain recognizes the low energy levels available for its functions. The sensations of thirst or hunger, sorry, not anger. Where have my brain gone? Okay. The sensations of thirst or hunger also stem from low energy levels. To mobilize energy from that which is stored in the fat, one needs hormonal release mechanisms. This process takes a while longer and some physical activity for energy release than the urgent needs of the brain. The front of the brain either gets energy from hydroelectricity or from sugar in blood circulation. Its functional needs for hydroelectricity are more urgent. Not only the energy formation from water, but also its transport system within the microstream flow system that depends on more water. Thus, the sensation of thirst and hunger are generated simultaneously to indicate the brain's needs. We do not recognize the sensation of thirst and assume both indicators to be the urge to eat. We eat food even when the body should receive water. These people who lost weight by drinking water before eating food managed to separate the two sensations. They did not overeat to satisfy an urge for the intake of water. Just a little side note and recap: in our previous chapters, it is recommended that you drink 2 glasses of water before each meal and do a half-hour walk um, twice a day. So, interesting. Okay. Overeating further explained. The human brain is roughly 1/50th of total body weight. It is said to possess about 9 trillion nerve cells, like computer chips. Brain cells are said to be 85% water. 20% of blood circulation is allocated and made available to the brain. This means that the brain gets to pick and choose from the circulating blood what it needs for its normal functions. The brain is one of the unique organs of the body that is constantly active, even when we are in deep sleep. It processes all information from different parts of the body, as well as that which enters it from daily exposure to physical, social, and electromagnetic environments. To process all these inputs and alert all parts of the body for coordinated response, the brain spends a vast quantity of energy. At the same time, it spends energy in manufacturing the primary ingredients and different brain chemical messengers, neurotransmitters, that are made in the brain cells and have to be transported to the nerve endings around the body. The transport system uses a vast quantity of energy. This high rate of energy consumption by the brain is the main reason why it receives about 20% of blood circulation. Brain cells stockpile energy into two main forms, ATP and GTP reserves, like coal and coke dumps next to power plants. Certain actions are supplied with energy from ATP stockpiles that are located in different parts of the cell, mainly within its membranes. The cell membrane is where the information centers and where an action is initiated. There is a system of energy rationing in operation in each cell. Not all stimulation will achieve an allocation of energy from the ATP stockpile to get registered and invoke a response. There is a threshold for energy release for some inputs. The brain calculates and understands what is important and what is not for its energy expenditure. When ATP reserves are low, many stimuli do not invoke a response. This low ATP reserve in some overactive brain cells becomes reflected as a fatigue state in functions controlled by those brain cells. Exactly the same process is in operation for the GTP stockpiles. In certain energy actions, some energy from the GTP stockpile can be diverted to boost the ATP stockpile for a particular function to be sustained. Storage of energy in the brain's energy pools seems to rely heavily on the availability of sugar. The brain is constantly drawing from the blood sugar to replenish its ATP and GTP stockpiles. Recently, it has been discovered that the human body has the ability to generate hydroelectric energy when water by itself goes through the cell membrane and turns some very special energy generating pumps, much like hydroelectric power generation when a dam is built on a large river. Thus, the brain uses two mechanisms for its energy requirements. One from metabolism of food and formation of sugar, two from its water supply and conversion of hydroelectric energy. It now seems that the brain depends extensively on energy formation from hydroelectricity, particularly for its transport system in its nerve supply to different parts of the body. To satisfy the brain's requirements, the human body has developed a delicate balancing system to keep a normal range of sugar concentration in the blood. It does it in two ways. One, by stimulating the intake of proteins and starchy foods that it will convert to sugar, in addition to the sugar in the diet. Two, by converting some starch and proteins from the stored reserves of the body into sugar. This latter mechanism is called gluconeogenesis. It means remaking of sugar from other materials. This remanufacturing for sugar of use by the brain is done in the liver. The dependence of most brain functions on energy from sugar has resulted in a pleasure association for the taste of sweetness. The body has established a certain coding system for coordination of functions by the other organs, particularly the liver, when a sweet taste stimulates the tongue. When there is not enough sugar in circulation, the liver begins to manufacture it and constantly tops up the blood levels by the addition of more sugar. At the beginning, it will convert stored starch, followed by proteins and small quantities of fat. Fat conversion is a very slow process. The body needs to go without food for some time before a higher rate of fat metabolism is established. Proteins are more accessible and are broken down more easily than fat. Fat deposits are made up of many single units of fatty acids joined together. It is the individual fatty acids that are broken for their energy value. Each gram of fat gives 9 calories of energy. Each gram of protein or sugar provides only 4 calories of energy. This is the reason why, when fat is metabolized, a person is far less hungry. In children, fat stores are brown in color and have much blood circulation in them. In brown fat, fat is metabolized directly and heat is generated. In the later years of life, fat stores have less blood circulation and are less accessible to the enzymes that mobilize the fatty acids for conversion in the liver and the muscles. When muscles are inactive, they are more easily attacked and their protein is broken down for conversion into sugar. However, if muscles are used, they begin to metabolize some of their stored fat as a choice source of energy to do work and maintain or increase their bulk. To do this, they begin to activate a fat breaking enzyme, hormone sensitive lipase. It has been shown in repeated blood tests in Sweden that this enzyme activity is seen after 1 hour's walk and it retains its fat breaking activity for 12 hours. Once muscle begin to use fat, more sugar becomes available to be used by the brain. With repeated walks, the activity of the fat-burning enzymes becomes much more pronounced. Thus, a component of any diet program should be muscle use for its long-lasting, direct physiological effect on fat breakdown. It is this lipase in the blood circulation that also cleans the blood vessel walls of fatty plaques and deposits. It was this physiological response of the body to walking that reversed the health problems of John Fox. Increased water intake gave him energy, and stamina and walking stimulated the enzymes that cleared his arteries. Desk jobs in our modern way of life are a cultural phenomenon. Our body physiology has not yet transformed sufficiently to accommodate for this functionally abnormal use of the human body. The body still needs muscle activity to maintain normal functions. If the body functions normally, it knows when to eat and how much to eat without storing fat. Every part of the body uses its share of energy supply for efficient and well-coordinated function. This is what it is designed for. However, if the brain is used more in times of stress and the body is not used proportionately to supply the brain with its sugar needs, a less disciplined person will give in to eating more often and in larger quantities. It becomes more dramatic if we do not recognize the other thirst signals of the body when it needs water for its energy supply. And instead of drinking water, we consume more food. In stress, the body becomes dehydrated. The reason why we tend to gain weight is simple. We eat to supply the brain with energy for its constant round-the-clock activity. However, when food is eaten, only about 20% of it reaches the brain. The rest will gradually become stored if muscle activity does not use up its allocated portion. With water as a source of energy, this storage does not happen. Excess water is passed out in the form of urine. Diet sodas can cause weight gain. My observation has been that diet sodas, even though they contain no appreciable number of calories, are possibly the cause of more weight gain in those who take them to control their weight. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? That is propaganda for you, just a side note. The power of advertisements. That's why I don't, one reason why I don't, I fast forward on the ads or I don't look at them. I don't watch them. Uh, Sorry, little squirrel there. One person stands out. A young man in his 20s, about 5 feet 5 inches tall. He used to drink regular sodas like most college students. He had already gained excess weight by the time he graduated. After graduation, to reduce weight, he began drinking diet sodas. 8 cans a day. Holy moly, 8 cans a day. That's a lot of sodas. In 2 years, he gained another 30 pounds. He seemed to get as round as he was tall. He had difficulty walking. He also drank diet sodas at mealtimes and ate more than his body needed. He still consumes diet sodas. He seems addicted. And despite all other efforts, continues to be overweight. This paradox in our understanding of the relationship between taking a sweetener that does not directly contribute to the total calorie intake of the body and weight gain needs explanation. The following is the result of my research into this enigma. There are many people who resort to taking diet sodas, and instead of losing weight, they begin to gain it. Read the testimonial from Donna Gutkowski, who for years only consumed sodas and steadily gained weight regardless of anything else she did to shed the excess pounds. The beverage industry is growing apace. A report published in the magazine The Nation, April 27, 1998, stated that the most conservative estimates have children and teens guzzling more than 64 gallons of soda a year, an amount that has tripled for teens since 1978, doubled for the 611 set, and increased by a quarter for under 5 tots from a 1994 survey by the Agriculture Department. It is also interesting to note that the increased consumption of sodas by children under 5 is most probably the reason why the rate of asthma occurrence in that age group tripled in the years between 1980 and 1994. A survey at the campus of Pennsylvania State University showed that some students drank 14 cans of soda a day. One girl consumed 37 sodas in 2 days. Many admitted they could not live without these soft drinks. If deprived, these people develop withdrawal symptoms, very much like those addicted to other drugs. Boys Life magazine surveyed its readers and found that 8% of them drink 8 or more cans of soda a day. The administrators of one Boy Scout jamboree collected 200,000 empty cans for recycling. The Soft Drink Association surveyed the use of soft drinks in hospitals in America and found that 85% served sodas with their patients' meals. It is widely assumed that these manufactured beverages can replace the needs of the body for water. It is assumed that just because these beverages contain water, the body will be adequately served. This assumption is wrong. This increase in consumption of mainly caffeine-containing sodas forms the background to many of the health problems of our society. The mistaken belief that all fluids are equivalent to water for the water needs of the human body is the main cause of many of the ills of the human body, including excessive weight gain. To understand the above statement, we need to recognize some simple principles of the anatomy and physiology of the brain that regulate eating and drinking. Gross disfigurement of the body by fat collection is the initial step in the decline of the human body, and, in my opinion, is caused by the wrong choice of fluid intake. Some beverages do more damage than others. Caffeine, one of the main components of most sodas, is a drug. It has addictive properties because of its direct action on the brain. It also acts on the kidneys and causes increased urine production. Caffeine has diuretic properties. It is physiologically a dehydrating agent. This is the main reason why a person is forced to drink so many cans of soda every day and is never satisfied. The water does not stay in the body long enough. At the same time, many people confuse their feeling of thirst, thinking they have consumed enough water that is in the soda. They assume they're hungry and begin to eat more food than their body needs. Thus, dehydration caused by caffeine-containing sodas in due time will cause a gradual weight gain from overeating as a direct result of confusion of thirst and hunger sensations. Caffeine has pick-me-up properties. It stimulates the brain and body even when one is exhausted. It seems that caffeine lowers the threshold of ATP stockpile control. Stored ATP is used up for some functions that would not normally gain access to it when there is a set level of reserves. When sodas contain sugar, at least some of the brain's need for sugar is satisfied. If caffeine is releasing ATP energy to enhance performance, at least its sugar companion will replenish some of the lost ATP, even if the final result is a deficit expenditure of ATP by the brain. Okay, we will stop here for now. They're very interesting, huh? The relationship between water and soda and the body and dehydration. Interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We will continue our reading next week. And in the meantime, I hope you guys all have a great week and we will see you next time. Okay, bye-bye now.